important in terms of the African experience in the United States. And I think, Dr. Young, you would like to say something about the book that you have recently published called Many Roads Travel. I think that we have a display in reference to that. Why don't you talk about that book and some of the things that you feel that are associated with that?
Yes. Many Roads Travel, or 20 Years in Bondage, was inspired, the writing was inspired by the woman in that old tin-type photograph, and by the pipe stem that she had, which somehow remained in the family for over 200 years. That pipe stem is older than America. It belonged to this woman's grandfather. In the 1970s, when I became very much submerged into genealogy, I did research in North Carolina, where this woman, we first find her. And that journey took me to the shores of Africa. The book is historical fiction, which means it is a creative reconstruction of events, people, and places. And so in the creative reconstruction, we visit the shore of Africa where two children are playing on the coast, and they see this, what they think is a mirage in the distance, this big, gray, white-looking thing. But it is not. It is a slave ship. And they are free and happy and carefree and romping in the sand. And they end up on that ship being captured. This story takes the reader across the Pacific Ocean and onto that ship where, according to the Kirkus Book Review, the whole book is filled with hard truths and is a heartfelt read. I don't think you could find a writing that would be more intense and informative than this 6 weeks trip that this young woman endured on to Baltimore, on to Norfolk, and finally to North Carolina, to the Piedmont. And there, the little town of Lincolnton, North Carolina, a free black community was established. And this young girl becomes a woman, and she is married, and she and her husband, Jake, reproduce this Pleasant Lane. So this is a story of Pleasant, her forebears as they travel across the ocean, the many roads leading to North Carolina, and her kidnapping. She was a free girl on her way to take that pipe stem to the Lane's tobacco shop. And that's a rich history there. See, many people do not know, even people in North Carolina, that a man by the name of Lunsford Lane, which was one of her relatives, developed a flavored tobacco. He was called a tobacconist. He was free in the little town. And he took his recipe for flavored tobacco to the biggest tobacco producer in North Carolina then and now. And they, Lunsford Lane presented this recipe to this man and said, I know, you know, you're powerful, you have all I ask is just to give me just a little, a fair percentage. I'm not asking much, just a fair. So the man told him, well, I'll get back to you. I'll get back. Well, he did get back to him, but not directly. He got back to him early one morning when night riders arrived. They feathered and tarred him and left him beside the railroad. And he was rescued and sent on to Canada. I have the book with the man's story. I have followed the genealogy and the connection between Pleasant Lane here and Lunsford Lane, using the naming patterns that enabled me to follow the family and also to go all the way back to the African experience. What went on the two plantations, Wakefield and North Carolina, and the somewhat imaginary Lanza Lake plantation in Tennessee, would make for hair standing on, raising the hair on your head. Because as I said, Kirker's book review says there are some hard truths that the characters are very carefully researched and presented. We learned, I mean, the book presents new words, well, less familiar words that the reader can